This is 95X Live.
Hey, what's up, Dixon?
How are you, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
Fantastic to see you.
Likewise. I know. It feels like we actually saw you pretty recently.
It was only a couple months back.
Okay, so yeah, it was recently.
Yeah.
It was recently.
How's
No,
things on the
man,
left
like,
coast?
I mean, but given everything that's happened, I
Yeah.
would thought that feels longer ago, and I don't know why. For some reason, it doesn't.
It feels like last year, right?
No, I mean, it feels like it was. It feels like it was. It was recently. You know, like even though so much has changed since then. You know, actually, I kind of remember because what was it, in February?
I think so, yeah.
I think or beginning of March. I think it was beginning of March, because I do actually remember being thoughtful of like not shaking hands, and like maybe fist bumping at the time or something like that.
We were doing the elbow bump that day.
Elbow, yeah. Which is but I also remember like it hadn't really, like, that wasn't like, you could still fist bump people and people weren't like, oh yeah, that's normal. They were like, oh, you're doing the COVID thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like
the early days of the disease, so to speak.
Exactly.
Right on, man. Well, I look back very fondly on that day, man. It was a fantastic experience to have you guys playing music live in a room in such an intimate setting. And I don't know if you had a chance to check the video out, but that performance is up at 95x.com.
Oh, sick.
And it's all edited up.
With me
and
playing
looks
bass,
fantastic.
I believe.
What's that?
I think I was playing bass.
You were playing bass that day.
You know, I actually, well, we'll get into it. You lead the interview. I'll kick back.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for joining us today. I know that everybody's got a lot going on, and it's great to stay connected. So thank you for taking the time to do this, not only for me, but for the listeners today. The new single is called Disaster Party. You can hear it all over 95X. I adore the song. Like I said, the unplugged version is right there at 95x.com. And I remember we chatted that day that this was sort of a step towards a full-on release. And I know with everything kind of falling apart in the world, I was wondering if there was any information on some more stuff coming out from Magic Giant.
Like, I kind of want to play you some stuff on my computer right now, but not no formal anythings yet. No.
Got you.
Is the answer.
Gotcha.
Let me see. I'm like in this. Wow. I mean, I could just give a sample. It just might not be good. Wow, this is like our little group chat where we have all sorts of different like versions of the songs and stuff. It's really fun, actually. That's actually the acoustic version of Disaster Party. Can you hear that?
That's pretty great, man.
That was the song that we were playing for you. That was the song we were rehearsing. Get out of my head.
Oh, and you guys actually made a couple of changes to that while you were in the room with us. Yeah.
It's true, exactly. And we've been making some like it's not finished until it's out. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we've just been making some more production changes to the beginning and stuff.
We talked about that the last time you were here, where you've had fans come up to you with like lyrics from songs tattooed on them that were changed after they heard it because they saw it at a live show and that lyric didn't quite make the record.
Yeah, well, I think it's still actually. Sometimes I feel like it's even more special because it's like now that doesn't even, that was like a little figment, you know, of what was to come.
Absolutely, man. Your fan base is very loyal. They're very fervent for output from you guys. The connectivity in the couple of times that I've seen you guys with your listeners has been, you know, at the risk of like trying to sound like I'm making like a pun, but kind of magical, man. Like there's a definitive mind share between you and your audience that's very apparent if you do get to witness that. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to how accessible you guys are as people, but also how accessible the music is, especially the lyrical content. I think it connects on such a base human level that in a lot of ways, I think there's a charm that almost feels friendly or familial within the lyrical content of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I wish we had Zambricki here in little 4 quadrant. Instagram will do that eventually, but because I'm just 1/3 of Magic Giant, and a lot of times, man, I feel like Zambricki's always his head's always exploding with lyrics. But even it's a cool amalgamation of the three of us, and what we go through, and we all have different experiences, but then we have this shared outlook, and sometimes the songs are about what one of us feels, but the three of us can relate. Sometimes it's even what someone we met along the way, their story, but we can relate. So it's pretty cool to have that sort of collaboration, because
absolutely,
it's not something it's different than anything I would create by myself,
Well, ultimately, the collaboration works out really well because you're all writers, you're all multi-instrumentalists, you can all sing. So for me, it just seems almost more like a brain trust for amazing musical production than it does like a band in the common sense of the word. I think the three of you have this, I don't know, there's just a spark that you don't see a lot of times. Like, I've been in the business for almost 30 years at this point, and up until the 10 or 12 that I've been in radio, you sit with bands during sound checks and during the early part of the day when things are getting set up. And typically, if it's a band with 3 or 4 guys, they're in 3 or 4 different places. They're not hanging out. They're not continuing the process. They're not acting like a band. And every single time that we've interacted, which has only been a handful of times, the three of you are very much a unit. When there's downtime, you're working together, you're experimenting, you're collaborating.
I feel like you've been on the bus with us. Like, you've been, like, like you get it. It's so cool.
Well, there's I don't know, man. I hate to shit all over everything, but lately, like over the last few years, man, you see a lot of like the spark that really lights the fire of what art is, either falsely presented in a way where it seems fake, or it's manufactured. And one of the things that I absolutely adore about you guys is how organic everything is. And I've got friends that are jam band fans that love Magic Giant. I've got, younger friends that are all pop music fans that love Magic Giant. It just speaks from an artistic place that I think was sort of lost along the last few years. And it's great to see you guys really sort of leading a charge to bring it back.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, we want to get even more creative with things, and have even more. We don't want anything to. I guess there's like a balance of making things that are unique and speak to us and relatable to others, because it is really nice when it can have an effect on people, like Disaster Party has, for instance. It's nice to have a shared experience with people, both on the records and also obviously live. That's like what we go for every time.
Absolutely. And the majority of your songs are truly anthemic in nature, which makes that live experience
You're so sweet, man.
Exuberant and joyful. I mean, the few times I've gotten to see you, it's been in really intimate settings, but there's still just this electricity in the room of knowing that you're experiencing something very real and something that's going to create a memory. You and I had this conversation the last time we were here about kids watching the concert through their phone and not really living in that moment. And the fun thing for me is to get on YouTube and watch some Magic Giant live stuff. And it's you guys are one of the few artists where I don't see a million phones in the air. I don't see a lot of people distracted from what's happening. They seem to live in the moment. And ultimately, for me, that's the vibe your music strikes within me, is just this very vivid, live in the moment sort of vibe that just kind of, I don't know, there's a joyous nature to the music of Magic Giant, and it's infectious, man. And you know this too, because it happened at such an organic level with Set on Fire and everything else. I mean, you guys have experienced so many things, playing all the big festivals, doing things like Good Morning America, but still being three guys in a van, taking it to small clubs to play it for the people that are going to tell their friends and make this thing snowball. I think the way that you have it envisioned in your head that it will.
Yeah, let's see what happens, right?
Absolutely.
One knows. No one knows. But it's been a fun ride, and yeah, man. Like speaking of like phones, I've heard of artists having like a little phone check at the front door. I would
that's
love to
happening
do
more
a
and more.
show with that. Where like you check your phone in at the front, and then like, because people like, I actually, I saw Bruce Springsteen crowd surf. I saw a video of this. I wasn't actually at the show, but he was crowd surfing. But my wife was there, and she said that it must be different for him crowd surfing now than it used to be, because everyone's like this, and like everyone only has one hand now, because their other hand's trying to film it. But the experience. Phones are a great thing, but they also they pull us out of the moment sometimes. So what can you do? We're using a phone right now, it's allowing us to do this. So,
but we're also using this to make a new memory for a bunch of people, as opposed to trying to capture something. You know what I mean? Like, that's because there's good and there's bad to everything, whether it's technology or anything really. So. In addition to collaborating with the other gentlemen in Magic Giant, you've kind of got a laundry list of well-known people that you've either written for or collaborated with, whether it's David Guetta, Big Time Rush, Akon, will.i.am. And I know that that's a separate part of what you do for Magic Giant. I was wondering if in that world there was anybody that you kind of had set aside on a wish list that you want to work with, or like somebody that you kind of like, not necessarily like have dreamt of collaborating, but something that's inspired you to go, okay, that's somebody I need to work with.
John Bellion's dope, and I've never met him, and he, like, his videos are of like making his music are really cool. So I'd love to collaborate with him. Julian Casablancas is someone we'd love to collaborate with. What's his name? Tip of my tongue. He did. He's got a big white beard. Lives in Malibu. He did insane hip hop stuff, but he's also did like Red Hot Chili Peppers and stuff.
Rick Rubin.
Woo! He would be sick.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, those are a few.
Excellent. Now, in addition to that, I mean, you're one of those multi-talented guys. So the question for me is, I know you have specific influences as a musician and probably different influences as a producer and as a writer, as a performer. What are some of those influences? And is there anybody in particular that falls into more than one category where you feel like, okay, this is somebody that I can maybe model a career after?
Coldplay. Coldplay's done an amazing job. Mumford & Sons has done a really good job. Coldplay's been doing it twice as long as Mumford, but they're both in like probably the 10 to 20 year category of like sustained good music. They're both British, actually. Bruce Springsteen, like I said before, he's done it for a long time. It's crazy seeing like Mick Jagger's on Instagram, like Rolling Stones are still active. It's cool. Right. It's so crazy. They're legends. Same with Paul McCartney. They're like, it's just wild. I really admire, and I don't know I don't know Paul McCartney personally, but like I've just seen, he lives on a ranch outside of England, with his horses or whatever. Like that's the life I want to live. And then like cool, he goes in for the show, and then I'm back at the ranch, baby. Like that's that's inspiring to me.
Very cool, my man.
Yeah.
So
I just want to spend more and more time outdoors. That's kind of that's what I learned the older I get.
You being on the West Coast, that's a cool thing, man. You come back to Syracuse, sure. You don't want to spend that much time outside. But I feel you on that. So what have you guys been doing to pass the time while we've all sort of been on pause? I assume that you're not quarantined with your bandmates.
No, we haven't even really seen each other. One thing is we've been doing this festival called Live from Quarantine, and the fourth one is actually this Sunday, weekend 4. We're gonna announce it like after I get off the phone. So I don't even want to say who the artists are, but that's been really fun, time consuming, fulfilling. But yeah, the weeks I do Live from Quarantine are like I can't. It's so hard for me to multitask and do other things. So yeah. Oh, sorry. What is Live from Quarantine? It's a fundraising festival. So we've raised about $100,000 now. All the proceeds go to Frontline Responders Fund to get to expedite protective gear, medical supplies to hospital workers. And we've had artists like the Lumineers and Walk the Moon and Ash and Shade, and I forget all who. I mean, it would take me a while to go through the list, but yeah, the next one, and I've been playing every time as well. So we've been doing that. That's one of the main things. I've been playing some music. We've been producing virtually, like sending each other ideas back and forth. Different productions of Out of My Head, which is a song we're working on. Different productions of like acoustic versions of Disaster Party. I've been messing around with a different style tuning guitar that my friend Leif Vollebeck showed me, and it's, yeah. And I've been spending time outside.
Yeah, hopefully the weather breaks on the East Coast, because right now, man, today was nice. It got up to about 74, and then it just poured down rain for like the last hour, and it's been in the 30s and 40s for a couple of weeks. Oof. It's getting a little tough.
I'm sorry.
Can't say I don't envy you being on the West Coast.
Yeah, no. When we first started quarantine, it also rained for like 2 weeks straight here. And that doesn't happen in LA. So people were like, I wasn't sure if people were more upset that it was like quarantine or rain.
Right.
But man, I don't know. It's hard to complain. And I know it's, I made a little promise to myself that I would stop complaining about weather, because, and now easy for me to say, I'm in LA, you're in Syracuse. I get that. But there, you could always complain about the weather. It's a little hot. It's a little cold. Ooh, it's a little humid. It's too dry. It's too windy. It's like no matter what, it's too sunny. It's not sunny enough. Like there's so many different factors. And if like I wanted to, I could just every day. So I was just like, all right, let me move on past the weather. I'll wear what I need to wear. I'll just go out in the rain and get wet. I don't mind, but I don't know. I hope I don't get sick. I just try to like get enough sleep and take vitamins and whatever.
Yeah, and if you're keeping your distance from everybody, you should be fine, my man.
Yeah. Well,
that's a big part of it.
Of course.
But, yeah. So it was great catching up with you.
Sorry to preach here.
What's that?
I'm like sorry to give I gave like a little pep talk on unexpected, like my philosophy on weather.
Oh, you're all right. You can throw a TED talk in the middle of our interview, man.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good. So like I guess the big question is when this is over.
Yeah.
What do you see sort of not necessarily the new normal in general, but it's kind of, I don't know. I'm a little depressed over the fact that it seems like live music is going to be on hold for a while now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I'm just wondering if this is, do you see it? Because I see it in two ways. One of which is, this is cool because a lot of guys that are constantly touring and never home and getting to Woodshed and Wright are going to be home.
I know.
And they're going to be there's going to be so much art that comes out of this hold. But my worry is I watch independent venues like the Troubadour shutter. Are there going to be places, once all this is done, for us to go and play? You know, does Trapdoor Social have the right idea with, like, their whole, like, we're just going to pull this trailer behind our van and it's solar powered and we'll just play for whoever shows up?
Yeah, I mean, both those points are very true. I just believe in humanity, and I can't be worried about what ifs, but I'm super down to help, you know, in however I can on the people and the venues that we can. I just think, like, people will innovate, and, like, people love music, and it's millions of years old, and so people will innovate, and maybe it won't be a concert venue as we know it. Maybe it will be something like you're talking about. It doesn't exist yet, but yeah, man, you know, we had to cancel our tour. We had to cancel a bunch of shows. I'm just like, you can always be grateful. I can always be grateful for other things. I can always be grateful for this time I have here at home. I'm alive, I'm breathing, I got a roof over my head. I have a wife I love and a family I love. Like, so then on the music side of things, I also think we'll have a bigger appreciation when we do go and play. Like, this is not a right. This is a gift that we're getting to do. It wasn't always like this, you know? It could be taken away at any moment. Like, we might go out and value it more. We might go out and just have more appreciation. I mean, I'm just, you know, like, there's so many shitty things, but also I just try to look for the good. Yeah, the good, and also, like, tangibly, hey, how can I help? Can I help? If not, okay, let me forget about it. If yes, let me do it.
Well, that's a good attitude to have, man. Staying positive. And
I'm on my TED Talk vibes right now.
What's that?
I'm on my TED Talk rant.
Oh, there you go. Now. There you go, man. There's a new social media idea for you going forward. If we're all stuck inside for a while, you can do weekly TED Talks.
I don't know if anyone cares, but that's cool. Yeah, someone's asking about Camp Misfits. Camp Misfits right now is on. It's last weekend in September. We don't know what's gonna happen, you know. But that's the plan. We hope.
Now that's the festival that you guys throw. It's up in the Redwoods.
Exactly.
Kind of, sort of, part music festival, part like nature getaway sort of weekend.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm here for the TED Talks. You guys.
There was a girl that asked something about, are you working on Superwoman not that long ago? I don't know.
Ooh, the baker. No, not really. Not at this moment, Michelle. It's in my head right now that you said that, but no, we'll see. It's just like one thing at a time. We'll get there.
Very cool, my man. It's been great catching up with you today. I totally appreciate you taking this time. You're always welcome, man. You ever want to send us some music or just chat, hit us up. You know you're always welcome. You've got a second home in Syracuse.
Yeah, can I play something?
Oh, they told me you weren't going to play. I would love to have you play something.
Damn. I usually play Disaster Party, but I mean, I'm down to play something. I'm down to play Disaster Party. I can play it. I mean, do you want to hear something polished or something that I'm gonna wing?
I want you to have a blast for the next 3 to 4 minutes and make the call on what you would like to play.
Okay. Do you got? Please put it in the comments what you want to hear. You're probably. I can do a mashup. Play Superwoman. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Canon. See, dude, you're always getting the behind the scenes. This seems
to be my specialty.
See, like I actually haven't played Superwoman in a long time, and it's not even on piano. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Canon. I'm thinking of a different song.
You've had a couple people mention Canon along the way as well. It seems to be taking
Canon's in a different key. Better lost than stuck here stranded. All right, I can't believe I'm doing this. All right. We used to run down to the beach. You were somehow out of reach. And we cuddled down at the bluff and I wondered, was that enough? So we climbed up to the cliff and you took 2 steps to the abyss. Been standing here ever since and I wonder, does it end like this? Shoot me out of cannon. I don't really care where I'm landing. Shoot me out of cannon. Better lost than stuck here stranded. It's like I'm from another planet. Nobody give me second chances. So shoot me out of a cannon. Better lost than stuck here stranded. Oh my, oh. Unsteady, better lost than stuck here stranded. All right, that's all I got for that. Let's see what else. All right, I'm gonna try something else unpolished. All right, let's see a little bit of Disaster Party on guitar in this new tuning. All right.
All right.
Another fun thing that I've been doing with this song is changing the chord progression, which is like reharmonizing it, which is something that like we secretly. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I see danger, you're invited. We're in trouble, but don't hide it. Living only for the moment, but the moment is gone. Only for the moment, but the moment is gone. And it's a disaster party. Running through hell, might as well throw away all your money. To say it's our fate, and we're too late. I know that we're all pretending this night is never ending. And if you need somebody, it's a disaster party. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. Maybe the world is broken. This guitar's way out of tune. I'm so sorry.
Don't sweat it.
Anyway, that's the vibe. This a disaster party. Running through hell. Might as well throw away all your money. Say it's our fate and we're too late. I know that we're all pretending this night is never ending. And if you need somebody, it's a disaster party. Hey!
I'm a sucker for the piano, man. I love it.
Yeah, the piano's nice. But you see, I don't know if you heard, but that's like, I'm playing that little... Never ending. I'm such a music geek. I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. It's what makes the band so unique. It's what makes everything so vibrant.
Unique. It's a euphemism.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding.
Just, you know.
Dixon, you're the man, dude. I always appreciate getting to explore new things with you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for loving us as we are.
Always here for whatever you need, my friend, and we wish you success. Disaster Party is phenomenal, and we look forward to what comes next, sir.
Thank you to all the Misfits for tuning in and requesting stuff that I don't know how to play yet without the guys, but that was an interesting twist.
Take it easy, my man.
Peace, brother.
Check out more in the on-demand section at 95x.com.